ask you something. Have you known something deep within your body? You felt it, but then over time you started to question it. You weren't sure about it. You second guessed. So then you might have asked other people, family members, friends. You may have Googled it. You started to overthink it and just think, well, this is just crazy. I'm being emotional. Well, yeah, me too. There was a time I did that with my intuition as well too. And then with time, you start to realize that that first instinct that you had was the correct one, but you didn't trust it, you didn't believe it. So women are doing this often too. We have been conditioned to really not understand what our intuition is, how much guidance it gives us. It is our body's internal GPS system. It's always guiding us. It's always moving us forward. It has our best interest at heart. But we've lost disconnection with it over time for a variety of reasons. And really getting in tune with our intuition will be one of the most powerful things that we can do moving forward to allow us to grow, to evolve, and just live our most aligned life possible. So if we have not met, hello, my name is Krista. And over the last few years, I have really started to grow, evolve, and change. And I've questioned a lot of things that I never questioned before. I have become much more adept at tapping into my intuition and trusting what it says and allowing it to make decisions for me that feel aligned, that feel right to me, where I feel empowered to move forward. And that's what I have grown a lot over the last few years, and I really have a deeper connection with my inner wisdom. And that's what I like to do now. I'd like to support other women to give them this gift as well too. So if I haven't met you before, hello. So what are we going to talk about in this video? There's a few things I want to talk about in this video that I want you to leave. When you leave this video, you have more clarification with that. So I want you to understand what your intuition actually is, not in a weird or woo-woo kind of way. There might be some people that have that perception, but it's really not that. And I want to clarify that with you. I want you to understand why a lot of women have lost touch with their intuition and why this happens over time. I also would like you to understand the difference between our intuition and fear and anxiety, because that's often a question that a lot of women will ask as well too, just differentiating what the difference is, and some really practical, simple, grounded ways that you can start to hear your intuition today that is accessible to everybody. Really, it's that easy. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video today. All right, so let's start with what our intuition is. All right, our intuition, it's not some magical thing that we hear about. Our intuition is information. It's a combination of our nervous system. It's a combination of our past experiences. It's a combination of, it's an intelligence. It's really a divine intelligence that we all have in our body. And it's now becoming even more, I don't want to say recognized, it's always been around, but I think it's been dismissed before because we were trained to believe that logic was the most important thing, not what we felt. And there's a lot more science that's being shown about this as well too. So I think our intuition is starting to get more of the attention that I think it deserves, and it's being recognized more by scientists. It's real. It's not some made up magical woo-woo thing that maybe we've been conditioned to believe. It's valuable. It's intelligence. And also, intuition lives in our body. It does not live in our head. It lives throughout our entire body. And it's always been speaking to us. We might have not heard its messages, but it's always been there. So our intuition is just not some idea that comes logically through our head when we ask for it and just demand, I need to know this. That's not our intuition. Our intuition comes in those sensations in our bodies, the feelings in our bodies that we tap into. Sometimes you will I've had this recently too. Someone asked me a question and I knew they hadn't even finished the question yet. And I knew in my body it was, no, I'm not doing that. I knew right away. That's my intuition speaking to me before it even has, my brain start filtering it and thinking of it that way. Our intuition is when we get those hairs on our arms or goosebumps in our body. That's our intuition speaking to us. We've all experienced that. Our intuition is when we get that knot in our feeling, that gut and feeling that when we walk into a situation, a room, maybe a house we're looking for to rent or to buy. And it's like we've all felt it. And so I just want you to understand that is our intuition speaking to us. It's in those feelings. And again, it's real, it's true, it's valid. So that is something to remember, that our intuition is not from our head. It comes in our body. It comes from all those sensations that we are probably feeling all the time in our everyday life as well too. So that's your intuition. It also it's very quiet by nature. And this is why a lot of women don't hear it, because it is so quiet. Your intuition is a whisper. It's subtle. It's calm. It's not noisy or loud or direct. It's steady. It's quiet. It stays with you. It doesn't change its mind day after day. It's steady. It's a calm presence. So that's what intuition is too. And intuition, I believe, it's your deepest true self communicating with you. It's you speaking to you, really. And I don't believe it's weird. I feel like it's this bigger perspective, this 360-degree perspective that's guiding us at all times. It's directing you down to this path, or turn this corner, look at this, speak to this person. It's guidance that our limited human brain cannot even process. It's divine intelligence speaking to you. So that's really what I think intuition is for me. And so I want to talk about next about why a lot of women have lost connection with this. And I think it's so common, and I really would like women to be able to tap into this again. And so I believe we were just taught to outsource it. We were not taught, it was not taught something that we revered, that was recognized. We grew up thinking that logic knew best, what we thought was best. These feelings we felt maybe were a little out there. If you said, I'm feeling this right now, it was often dismissed and gaslit, and you're being emotional and you're overthinking, or you're hormonal, like all these kind of ways that we were gaslit about what we were feeling. And when this happens time after time, we don't trust it. We don't feel like it's accurate. We start to kind of doubt ourselves and think, well, okay, maybe that is true. And again, it's subtle, but when you've experienced this for years or decades, you do lose connection with it. And we've outsourced all of our decision-making ability, our ability to recognize things. It's all been outsourced because it has not been recognized as divine intelligence. And also, I believe that our lives are just so noisy right now. The world is noisy, if you haven't noticed. We're not going to hear our intuition if we live in a noisy world. We just won't, because I mentioned before, our intuition is subtle, it's quiet, it's a whisper, it's not loud at all. So if you're living in constant 24/7 noise, computers, phones, scrolling, the news, everybody else's opinions, you're not going to hear your own. It won't happen. So we live in very noisy lives. We have very noisy lives. And if we want to be able to tap into our intuition, we have to recognize that and start to find time in our day when we don't have so much noise. And one of the biggest things that I think why a lot of women have disconnected from their intuition is because there's this confusion about our intuition and fear and anxiety. We often might get confused about, is that my intuition speaking or is that something else? And I think that's a big thing, because our anxiety might feel like the alarms bells or everything is catastrophized. So there's a difference with that too. So those are a few reasons why we've disconnected from our intuition without even realizing it. And again, it happens subtly over time. So that's why it's happening. So I also want to really give you in this video ways to start listening to it again, because there's no point in just telling you, why we're not listening to our intuition without giving you some practical steps about how you can reconnect with your intuition, because this can happen today. You don't have to become a different person. You don't have to do some 5-step routine. You don't need to buy a course or anything like that. We can just decide today that, I want to have an improved relationship with my intuition. And some of the points I'm going to share with you today are ways to start. You can really start today. And one is, again, to recognize that it starts in your body, not your brain. So during the day, we want to connect with ourselves often. How am I feeling right now? What am I noticing? Some people might like to put a little timer on their phone, whether it be 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever it may be, and just kind of stop for 15, 20 seconds. How am I feeling right now? Am I feeling calm? Feeling anxious? When this person came in, what did I feel? When I consumed this piece of media, how did I feel before and afterwards? Those are, again, signals. Those are the sensations in your body that are speaking to you. So starting to recognize this as information, accurate information, is a great place to start. And just notice, okay, we're just noticing at this point. You don't have to change everything. We're not turning our lives upside down. At this point, we're just starting to notice the connection. Having that awareness with it is key. And I also will recommend, when we start to reconnect with our intuition, we want to just do tiny bite-sized decisions. We don't want to have the big decisions if we're just starting to tap into this again about, if you're considering leaving a job or a career, or if you're struggling maybe with a relationship or leaving your partner. These are not the ones that we want to start with, obviously. And we want to start with some smaller decisions. We want to start with, what should I have for dinner tonight? Or maybe, what do I feel like wearing today to go out? It might be, what direction do I want to go home? Simple things like this. And just tap into your intuition. And your intuition, the first immediate hit, I guess you would say, download, that's your intuition speaking. If you start to let it go, second, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's your ego and your brain starting to kick in. So it's often that immediate response that you get. That's your intuition speaking. It's that split second. That's what it is. So go with that. So really start to tap into small decision-making abilities. We're not going for the big ones at this point, but once you start to do this and you start to see the power of it and how aligned these decisions feel for you, you will begin to trust it more. And then this can support you in some of the bigger decisions that you have in your life. So let's start small at this point. Another thing that not even that I highly recommend it, well, I do, but it has to be a priority, is you need to give yourself some quiet every day. No question about it. As I mentioned before, if you're living in constant noise 24/7, you're not going to hear your intuition. So we need to give ourselves some time, some space, some solitude to just be alone with ourselves, to allow our intuition to speak to us and that we can hear it. So this can be done in a variety of different ways, and you don't need a ton of time. I'm not suggesting hours. I'm starting with 5 minutes. Perhaps in the morning when you have your morning coffee or tea or whatever you drink in the morning, just look out a window, or where I'm living right now, it's beautiful in the morning. So I go outside and watch the sky or listen to the birds. It's just a way of not communicating with anybody else. Obviously, you don't want to be looking at your phone. You really want to give yourself that guidance. I often go for walks by myself, and I have a lake close to where I live, and I will just go for walks, long walks by myself. I really enjoy doing that. And this is the way I often get downloads, ideas will come to me just when I'm moving my body and I'm out in nature, I'm happy, I'm calm, I feel good, and this is where I get a lot of my ideas. But you don't have to do that. You have to find something that works for you, but you have to give yourself some time and to get away from all the noise, or you will not hear it. So really giving yourself the time and the space to hear what your intuition is saying is necessary. And, again, once a day, maybe you just check in with yourself. Simple. How am I feeling right now? Am I feeling anxious? Am I feeling calm? What am I noticing? Because it's really in the subtle. That's what it is. It's just this, it's in the subtle noticing. That's where a lot of our intuition is. But we haven't really noticed it before because we haven't done it before. So I'm going to get back a little bit more just before I end this to the difference between fear, anxiety, and our intuition, because this is a big thing that I think a lot of women get confused with. So I really want you to understand the difference, because I think this is very important information. And so let's start with fear and anxiety. Fear is loud. It's like alarm bells. It's worst case scenarios. It's everybody else's opinion. It's what if this happens? What if this happens? It's catastrophizes. It's just, that's what it feels like. It feels loud. And it also allows you to stay stuck. You feel constricted. You feel kind of small. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. So that's what fear is. It's urgent. It's loud, noisy. Just, it feels like that. Where intuition is different. As I've mentioned, it feels calm, it feels peaceful, it feels right, it feels like you. And the big thing is when you get some information, and I've noticed this too, it just feels true. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, like, yes, this is so me. It's truth. And I can feel that in my body. And I'm like, hello, like, it feels so true. It feels so right. It feels expanding, like I'm growing. And I will say one thing I have noticed too, sometimes you'll have your intuition and then you'll have your fear and anxiety. And sometimes what your intuition is asking you to do, you might still have some fear with it. And I've experienced this a lot myself too, where I hear my intuition, but there's a little bit of fear that comes with that because it's gently pushing me out of my comfort zone. It's asking me to do something I've never done before. And at times it does feel a little bit scary, but that's okay. So there's a difference of, it's expanding you. It's taking you somewhere where you haven't been before, but still it feels right, it feels true. So that might come up. So I want to make sure I mention that as well too. You might have both, but so that's really the difference is. And one other thing to recognize is fear and anxiety, it projects into the future. It's, what happens next week, next month, next year, where when you're listening to your intuition, it is something that it's in the present moment. So there's a difference there too. So if you're getting information, you can discern what is appropriate that way too. So that's really what fear and anxiety and intuition can feel like in your body. And that can just guide you. Understanding that, knowing the difference when you are in a situation where you need to make a decision, having that framework really can make you move forward. It can guide you in the right direction. So understanding that is really important as well too. So I want you to understand your intuition has never left you. It's always been there. Since we were like little people, our intuition is always there, and it guided us when we were so young. We didn't even understand it. In our imagination, it's always been guiding us. But as we grew up and other people's opinions started to come into our life, this is when it starts to kind of be constricted a little bit, and we start to doubt ourselves. So it's always been there. It's just now for you to make a decision that you want to have a stronger relationship with it. You want it to guide you moving forward. You want it to show you the path moving forward that your higher self wants you to see as well too. So it's really, it's understanding that and trusting that and knowing that it's always been there. It's been shut down, but you can reactivate that pretty quickly too. You just really start to need to pay attention to it. It's as simple as that. If you would like some first steps into doing some of this work, if this is something that interests you, that you really would like to move forward with, I have created an audio practice which you can use it's in the description in the video below. And it really does give you first steps to be able to hear your inner voice, to hear your wisdom, to hear your whispers in a very safe and calm and guided audio practice, which I think for a lot of you might be a great resource for you to start this process if this is something that interests you. So you can check that out down below, and I think you will enjoy that. Also, if you have a friend, a woman in your life that really would value from this information as well too, I think most women would, I would be grateful if you could forward this video to them, just to share it with them, because the more women that are connected to their intuition and live this life is really a wonderful place for all of us to live and to grow together as well too. So just, you can share this video with them. All right. So thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this, to be able to recognize how important, how guided we all are at all times, and to really reconnect with our intuition. I applaud you for being here. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.